A lot of people would say that tilling as weed control or motorized cultivating as weed control in the garden is a bad idea. And there's some solid arguments against it, but I think there are some solid arguments for it as well. So first off, let's just say, like, obviously you're not going to do all of your weeding with a rototiller or even with like a handheld motorized cultivator, because you do need to be aware of your root systems and how close you can get in without damaging the plants. But what you can do is what I've done here. I run the rototiller down the rows, and by the way, when I plant with this in mind. I've got an 18-inch rototiller, so I'm planting with enough space in between the rows. And then sometimes it gets to a point by the end of the season where this may be a limited option. I've also done some alternated planting here to maintain that option for as long as I can. So in other words, we've got broccoli here and beans here, but then I've got this row with cabbage in it, and those will be coming out. So I will be able to continue to use the tiller in between these rows as we grow. That's a little bit of an aside. But the majority of the weeds in the garden, the majority of the weeding space, assuming you're not using barriers like microplastics and things like, or plastic barriers that may turn into microplastics, the majority of that space is the aisles between the rows. So if I can use the tiller to knock down just that much of it, I am probably about 80% or better of my weeds gone in, under half an hour with the tiller. There are other more manageable tillers. If a larger walk behind isn't for you, there are smaller versions of that. There are also versions of tillers that will go on to like a weed eater or a weed whacker, and that you can run as a handheld. So lots of options there, good things to explore. But as the no-till movement got more popular, tilling's kind of gotten a really bad name. But the biggest thing is to be able to weed and maintain your garden. The more that you can get out there and the more weeds that you can knock down on a regular basis, the healthier your garden's going to be. So if it's the tiller or the cultivator that gets you out there and able to do it, then I say do it. I also think we have to think about things like all these plastic barriers, carpeting our gardens with whole plastic barriers that sure, definitely do a lot to keep weeds down, but they're also, breaking down, breaking up, creating kind of ripped up trash that gets into the garden and the areas around. If that gets ripped and it blows around, they also break down from the sun, off-gassing and creating more microplastics in the environment. And the more we learn about that, the more a lot of us want to get away from it. So we have to find those happy medium ways to garden. Now, I will say this too, I'm not opposed to no-till gardening. I'm not opposed to any of it. I want people to feel empowered and get out there and be able to garden. And sometimes we just have to find the best time-saving, most efficient ways to do that. And for me, the rototiller actually takes a lot of that work out of it. So, again, lots of good reasons. Please read the article. We talk about it in more detail, kind of in defense of weeding with tillers and motorized cultivators that can help make your garden and growing something that is more manageable for you. And with that, I'll let you all go, because as we can see, I've still got some weeding to do. Happy gardening.